Hi everyone, it's Wednesday and I'm Chelsea and I am your video today. Before I talk about my childhood memories, because it's our theme this week, I wanted to touch on the video that Dan just posted about SOPA and calling your representative. I think it's really important that you call your representative because even though you're just one person, you can make a difference and you can have a say in what happens. You are just one person, but you do have an influence, and I think it's really important that you take the time. It's not going to take you that long, that you take the time to call your representative. But I also think it's really important that if you're planning on calling your representative, you need to educate yourself on the bill. So you need to do your research, and you need to be able to make an intelligent argument as to why you think that SOPA should or shouldn't pass, and then you need to call your representative. I called mine, and it wasn't scary. It wasn't that hard, and it didn't take me that long, and Dan called his. So I really encourage all of you. Anyway, our theme this week is childhood memories, and I'm going to talk about my grandpa, because my grandpa recently passed away. My grandpa was really, really, really important to me. Him and I were really close. When we first moved here to Minnesota, because I was born in Colorado, so when we first moved to Minnesota, my family didn't have a house, but we needed to be here because my dad had his job. So we moved in with my grandparents, and we lived with my grandparents for about a year and a half. And so I became really close with my grandpa during that time. And we had traditions. And one of our traditions was chocolate-covered raisins. He always had these plastic tubs, like about that big, around in his office, and he had peanuts, chocolate-covered raisins, like gummy candies, and like peanut clusters. And I would always go into his office when I thought that he wasn't looking, and I would take chocolate-covered raisins, and I thought that I was being really sneaky. But he knew, and I knew that he knew, but I still thought I was being really sneaky. And so chocolate-covered raisins became sort of a tradition with us. Every Christmas, we would have Christmas at my house, and then we would go to my grandparents' house after we moved out of their house. And for every Christmas, he would get me a present, but he would also get me a tub of chocolate-covered raisins for my own. And whenever I went over to their house afterwards, even when I was 16, 17, 18, he would always make sure I got my handful of chocolate-covered raisins before I left. It was something that we did. It was something that was really important to us. And actually, when he passed away, there was still the tub of chocolate-covered raisins in his office was still half full, and so my grandma gave it to me. So the very last tub of chocolate-covered raisins that he ever bought, I was able to finish on my own, and now I have the plastic tub, and I keep it, and I've got like important memories and things special to me that I hold in it, and so that was one of our traditions. Another thing that we used to do when I was younger, my grandpa was a very, very influential person in my community. He was a member of the city council for 18 years, and everybody in our town pretty much knew him. Like, his name was really, really well known. And so not only was he in the limelight a lot, but I was as well. Like, people knew me too because he was my grandpa. And every year there's a parade in my city, and like all of the representatives and people running for city council would march in it, and like sports teams from schools and that kind of thing would march in it. And my grandpa was in it every year. And because my grandpa was in it every year, I was in it every year as well. And I got to choose 3 friends to march, and 2 of us, there'd be 2 in each side of the car, and my grandpa would let us pass out candy. So that was a lot of fun too, and that's another memory that I'm always going to have with my grandpa, is that I got to do this really cool thing with him. And then afterwards, he would always take us out for ice cream or that kind of thing, and we got to do all kinds of cool things because of it too. Like, I remember I got to ride in the back of a police car, like that kind of thing, and those are really special memories to me because my grandpa was so important to me. I'm getting to 5 minutes now, so I'm not going to talk about my grandpa anymore. We're going to see Dan tomorrow, but I encourage all of you to call your representatives. It's important that because you have the power to, that you try to make a difference. Bye.